character action games. Fighting through hordes of enemies, stringing combos together to kill more efficiently. Typical for the genre is also getting locked into an arena until you are the only one left standing. Then the occasional backtracking after activating a switch or getting a key, which gives the environment a sense of presence, I think. You unlock new weapons and then new abilities for these weapons. You find hidden upgrade items for your character to make him stronger and more resilient. You unlock special attacks to do massive damage in an instant. There are special kill moves for cool kill animations on weak enemies. Enemies drop orbs or orb-like things to collect to refill your health and other stuff. There are hidden special missions with specific win conditions that give high-level rewards. There are of course big bosses with attack patterns to dodge, even the occasional platforming section or two. All very typical for a character action game, right? Or spectacle fighter as some call them. However, as you no doubt have seen from the title of this video is about a first-person shooter. Shooting in and of itself, of course, is something that isn't uncommon in character action games. The genre's roots lie in the genre of arcade beat-em-ups, after all, where games like Narc and Alien vs Predator exist. So is it that surprising that I think Doom is a character action game? Video game genres are defined by what the game design focuses on. I listed the pillars of what makes a character action game / spectacle fighter at the beginning of this video. Let's see how much overlap there is with Doom 2016. In God of War, weak characters have a circle button over their heads. Same concept here in Darksiders, which is an action-adventure game with heavy character action influences. Or here in Ninja Gaiden 2, as soon as you dismembered someone, you can press Y and do a kill move. In Doom 2016, right away in the second corridor of the game, we are made familiar with the glory kill mechanic. It is the exact same concept. Weaken the enemy, go to the enemy, press button to kill the enemy. In Doom, a glory kill will give you guaranteed health drops. Which brings us neatly into the next point. Orbs are everywhere in character action games. Every game has its own version of them. From just glowing orbs to halos to scrap metal and so on. Doom is no different. Killed enemies drop lots of small orbs that refill health and ammunition, just like in many character action games. In those, the ammunition would be something like mana, of course, for specific moves. But what is ammunition if not mana for firearms, right? And these aren't normal ammo drops either. This is what normal ammo looks like. And this is what ammo orbs look like. So these are clearly distinct ammo orbs and not normal ammo. No matter the game, basically everyone in this genre does this. You enter a room or just an area in a level, suddenly barriers appear and will stop you from continuing until you kill all enemies. Sometimes there's a whole tiny cutscene to show you that they are now good to go. Doom does this as well. You get locked into rooms until the contamination is dealt with.
Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged. Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
And then you can go on. Devil May Cry, one of the, if not the first, modern character action game, was originally a concept for a new Resident Evil game, but ultimately too different, and so Capcom made it a new IP. So it's not surprising that many character action games have levels where you walk around, opening new ways, backtracking, finding keys, or pressing buttons to open doors. Here I have to collect orbs, then go through a door, find a rusty key, backtrack while fighting enemies, open the blue door with the rusty key, and so on. Very Resident Evil-ish, right? The first time you enter the tower in DMC3 is a similar situation. Or this moment in Hi-Fi Rush, where you have to go to the throat of a pass to activate nodes, and then activate an elevator in order to move on. Doom is again not that different. Here, for example, we need a yellow key card. We climb up here, go along the path, fight a few enemies, go up an elevator, find the yellow key, backtrack, and finally open the door. It's almost one-for-one the stuff you see in DMC, isn't it? It is a defining feature of the genre to have ways to string combos together, to do more damage than just mashing the same button over and over without any rhyme or reason. You can just play DMC3 and mash the triangle button and most likely somehow make it through the game. But doing combos is way more efficient. So how do we do combos with guns? Well, with quick swapping and melee attacks, of course. You can just do this, but as you can see, the shotgun fires really slowly. Hell, the ballista is even slower still. Just holding one of these in your hands and mashing the trigger doesn't really look optimal, does it? No, because it isn't optimal. Simply adding a melee attack between shotgun shots can make a difference, as it staggers the enemy between shots and of course does damage. It also snaps you towards the enemy, closing the gap between you and the enemy. But with even stronger and even slower guns like the ballista, doing something like this is just much more efficient, quicker and cooler looking than mashing the attack button. Really good players can do stuff like this 100% combo the user Syla1313 on YouTube found. This uses so-called mod swap cancels, where you cancel the animation for swapping a gun mod, which shortens the cooldown of weapons as you swap. This way he can increase the fire rate of the ballista while swapping to the rocket launcher in between ballista shots. Yeah, we are talking animation cancelling here, in a shooter. It became really common in nearly all character action games to have at least mild platforming sections. Some have more elaborate platforming mechanics, some more basic ones. Double jumps, grappling hooks, moving platforms, they're all present in this genre. Doom 2016 starts off with light platforming. But once you unlock the double jump, it gets more complex. And it is very unforgiving. Drop down and you are back to the last checkpoint. Doom Eternal massively built upon this by introducing a dash climbing on walls and swinging on poles. But even Doom 2016 already had elaborate platforming moments. But in general, I would say nearly everything I say in this video about Doom 2016 is turned up to 11 in Doom Eternal. No spectacle fighter without boss battles. Big enemies, swooping attacks to dodge, often with a kill animation to finish them off at the end, similar to the special kill animations we talked about already. While Doom 2016 doesn't have many big bosses, it does have them, and they are typical bosses you'd expect. And yes, there are cool kill animations once they are... Again, Doom Eternal does amp this up more. It's a sequel, so that makes sense, I think. In Bayonetta, you find witch shards and moon pearls. God of War has Gorgon eyes and phoenix feathers. Hi-Fi Rush has life gauge pieces and reverb core pieces.
You can withstand the power surge.
In Doom, you got Argent energy cells. Every time you collect one, you can choose between 3 upgrade paths. Either increase your health, your armor, or your ammo. This is the equivalent of increasing your health or mana in other games. You can also find robots that carry weapon upgrade points. Each time you find one of these, you can choose and unlock one mod for one of the guns you found. These mods give your weapons new attacks like sticky grenades for your shotgun, etc. God of War, Bayonetta, Hi-Fi Rush, they all have their own currency like red orbs, halos or scrap metal, which you can use to unlock upgrades for your character, like new moves for your weapons and new abilities. In Doom, you find and unlock Predators, either by killing enough enemies or finding them on corpses. With these, you can upgrade other features of your suit, like improving resistance against explosions or improve your med, etc. Another key component of a spectacle fighter and its combat are super strong special attacks that do one or multiple enemies a lot of damage. These can be used to kill faster or as a "fuck, I'm surrounded and getting my ass kicked" panic button to get out of bad situations. Think of Ninja Gaiden's Ninpo or Bayonetta's torture attacks. In the second mission of Doom, you will get your first one of these, the Chainsaw. The Chainsaw is limited use, but it is a one-hit kill to any enemy, except bosses, and as long as you have enough charges, of course. While small enemies only need 1 charge, bigger ones will deplete 3 or 5 charges. Later in the game, you will obtain the BFG, the big fucking gun. This gun has a massive damage potential, as it does damage to every enemy that gets near its slowly moving orb projectile. You don't shoot at enemies directly, you shoot it through an area so that the area of effect does damage to everyone in its way. This also has limited charges, which are found in levels or dropped by enemies if you have the right upgrade. This was the eye-opening moment for me. It might be a weird reason to suddenly get this thought in my head, but because it's so weirdly specific, I could not connect the dots here. So, while playing Bayonetta or DMC4, you'll find more or less hidden spots that will let you start so-called special missions or secret missions. These special missions will give you a specific objective, usually killing all the enemies by only using certain attacks or within a certain time limit. After you clear that mission, you get a high value item as a reward. In Bayonetta, you get health upgrades, for example. Well, Doom 2016 does have special missions, with specific objectives that give you high-value rewards. These rewards here are runes, which act as perks that give you faster weapon switches or make your enemies drop armor upon glory kills, etc. Now, these special missions with their special win conditions alone wouldn't be something to make a game a character action game, even though it was my moment of realization. But with all the other points I brought up, in addition to this very specific one here, do you finally see it? I'm not crazy, right? Like, really though, am I crazy? Or is Doom 2016 indeed a character action game? And Doom Eternal is adding a ton more of this. Eternal is even more over the top. The combat is even more of a dance with the enemies. The platforming is even closer to something like God of War. More and bigger bosses, more orbs, just more of everything basically. I mean, you even have a hook to pull yourself towards enemies, like in DMC4, DMC or Hi-Fi Rush. What do you think? Because that is what my brain chip thinks. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked the video. If not, well, I tried. Bye bye.